What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Booming Basketball channel. I'm Nate here with Danny, as always. Today we have quite a problem and a big issue in the NBA that's been become very, very prevalent in the past few days, especially with this past Knicks Rockets game that ended with some pretty egregious calls by the referees, or really one in particular. Danny, the NBA has a huge zebra problem.
Yeah, and I can imagine that you're pretty mad about it. It's been happening over the past, I'd say
For
probably like 5 years.
5 years, it's gotten really bad.
Yeah, over the past 5 years, it's gotten like awful. We've had situations like the Knicks game happen before.
First for the people,
NBA just needs to do something about it.
For the people who
you can go ahead and explain the Knicks situation.
So basically, if you guys didn't watch the Knicks-Rockets game, it ended with a score of 105 to 103. And by that, you'd think, okay, what's wrong with that? If you watched the game, like I said, at the end of the fourth quarter, at the buzzer, Aaron Holiday for the Rockets chucked up a prayer from deep. And, it was one of those chuck-up shots at the end of at the buzzer that you're not expecting to make. If it goes in, it goes in. But they rarely call fouls on that, and you're never supposed to even try to foul or really contest the shot jumping into them. Brunson jumped to the side, completely avoided him, and Aaron Holiday's legs kick out completely inadvertently to the left, and Brunson grazes his legs. Super minimal contact. It was marginal contact. There was no way you could call that a foul and get away with it. And Jason Goebel, the referee, called a shooting foul. And then after the game, or that led them to losing the game, Aaron Holiday would go on to hit 2 of 3 free throws, and the Knicks didn't even have a chance to come back, and Tom Thibodeau was furious, like he was screaming on the sidelines. I'll put the clip in right here for you guys to see.
After replay review, 3/10 comes off the game clock prior to the timeout, therefore the game is over.
Yeah, that's automatic on a missed free throw. Tom Thibodeau drawn up a play, but the game is over. Jalen Brunson wants to go and yell at Jason Goebel.
So, yeah, the Knicks got screwed. They got bent over and fucked by Jason Goebel and Ed Malloy's crew. Ed Malloy was the crew chief, and after the game admitted that the contact was marginal and that the call should not have been called at all. It was incorrect. So that's great. That really helps the Knicks, in this tight East race with the Bucks, Cavs and Knicks all right there, 2, 3, and 4. Very tight race, and one game means a lot right now. But you know what? Fuck the Knicks, I guess, because that's what the referees wanted to do, Danny.
Well, it's so situational. Like, you just, okay, it's still not a good call regardless of when in the game that happened, but it's such a situational thing. You just don't call that at that point in the game. It literally lost the Knicks the game.
It's like calling a pass
of a call that you weren't even sure was a foul.
It's like calling a pass interference on a Hail Mary in football. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
that's terrible.
No one came to see you, Jason Goebel. Like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, the horrible call. And you know what? If you guys remember from last season, Jason Goebel was involved in another horrible incident with the refs basically losing a team a game. And this was when the Lakers and Celtics played. The Lakers, this was a very, very infamous game, Danny. We all remember this from last year. When LeBron went up for a game-winning layup, got his wrist absolutely slapped and his hand completely, it was a blatant foul. Jason Goebel was the baseline ref for that, right there, standing there, and didn't call shit. So, I think our boy Jason might have some money on these games.
Evidently. The one thing that I want to say about the Knicks game is that the refs they need to get more consistent with the calls of, the kicking out, the legs kicking out, and calling it offensive or defensive or whatever. Because I saw, obviously they called a defensive foul on Brunson on that, and it was a pretty clear leg kick. It was an offensive foul.
But I don't think you should have called an offensive foul either. I just think nothing should have been called. It wasn't egregious from either side.
Yeah, also situational. Like, you don't call anything in that sense. But by rule, if a player kicks his leg out, if an offensive player kicks his legs out, it's an offensive foul. And I saw Steph Curry do it a few nights ago, but he didn't really kick his legs out. He was just fading away, and they ended up calling an offensive foul on what would have been a 4-point play. So they just really need to get more consistent with stuff like this. And then, like you said, with the whole LeBron thing, same thing happened last year with the same shitty officiating crew. It was terrible. And then this also happened. I don't know if you remember, but 4 years ago, the Rockets were playing against the Spurs.
Oh, I remember.
It wasn't that close of a game. It was there was 8 minutes left, and it was a 13-point game. and Harden got a steal, went on a fast break, and just dunked it. But the ball did like an optical illusion
went,
kind
like,
of thing where it
outside
like
of the
wrapped
basket and back
around.
around.
It wrapped back around, and then they ruled it no basket, and the Rockets would eventually end up losing that game in overtime by 2. So it's just like it's crazy how these things alter games. And I feel like the NBA should really maybe start taking some steps towards a potential like replay of certain games if there's a game altering call that they then determine to not be a foul.
Well,
or
the whole
that
thing
it was
is
just the wrong call.
I don't even know. It's like the whole replay thing with the protesting, because people have protested games before. The Mavericks protested one of their losses. It's just like, how is I think if this Knicks game doesn't get replayed, I think we have to look at what the fuck is the point of the rule of where you can like protest and stuff. Because if this isn't sufficient evidence or whatever it says in the CBA, that Adam Silver is like, there needs to be sufficient evidence and blah 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 that the game was affected, whatever. They need sufficient evidence, and if this isn't as sufficient of evidence as you can possibly have, it's so blatant. The head crew chief after the game literally said it's the wrong call. The wrong call gave the Rockets the lead and allowed the Knicks to not have a chance back. Tom Thibodeau didn't have his challenge call because he used it in the second quarter. Like, he never does. He never uses it in the first half. So that was a great game for Tibbs to not have his challenge call in the final few minutes. But regardless, these referees are fucking up the game. It's not okay to have. As fans, we don't want to see it. As like just watching good basketball, you don't want to see the games be about the referees. And after that Knicks-Rockets game, all you're talking about now is the refs.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's so undeserved. Like, the Knicks deserve to win that game. It's
not even deserved to win. They deserved a fair shot to win the game. They deserved to not have it
exactly.
literally pried from their hands, to not be bent over and just absolutely like demolished. It's just, why? Like, what? I don't understand what's going through Jason Gobel's head in that moment. Because, like, seriously, you're looking at that and you're really like, I'm going to call a foul right now.
I'm going to alter the entire game.
I'm going to make this about me because I'm more important than everyone here. Fuck you.
Yeah, but bro, if we go back to the Lakers game from last year, the score was 105-105. Like, that literally robbed I know the Knicks got robbed of the game because they didn't get a fair shot. The Lakers literally got robbed.
The Lakers literally should have had points, and
that layup wins them the game. If that foul gets called, the foul shots win them the game. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that LeBron is going to make those 2 free throws.
Well, he's going to make one of the two. It's LeBron. I don't like LeBron. I don't see LeBron missing 2.
It's LeBron James.
Regardless, they should have had free throws. And, late in these games, these referees need to be... I think there should be some sort of repercussion. Like, there should be a fine or suspension a few games for refs who fuck up like that. Because, especially when it's admitted by, like, the crew chiefs and the rest of them review it and they say there's something wrong. Because... then, if not, there's nothing to deter these refs from stopping and making these bad calls in big moments. They should feel some pressure to make the right calls in these big moments, and if they don't, then there should be repercussions. I don't see how, there couldn't be, because at this point, you're not going to get refs to be any better or more accurate at this point, because it's clear there's a problem. We've seen that there's been issues with gambling and betting on games in the past. There's been multiple referees who have said stuff about it anonymously and both not anonymously, and I'm not saying that all the games are fixed right now, but I think that there are refs that do bet on games, and I think that there needs to be real repercussions from the NBA in order to actually have any progress of making these calls better.
I mean, the fact that they're not even doing anything to even, I don't know the correct word, but, they're not even doing anything to, make up for the fact that the calls were terrible. They, like you said, after you put in the protest... that nothing happened.
Well, they just...
It's like a moral thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna tell you that it was
we say we're wrong. Sorry about that. Better. Sorry doesn't give us back our wins.
That just makes me feel worse.
Yeah,
that just makes me feel worse that you didn't call it.
Saying
it's terrible.
It's
they need to make it a situational thing where you can replay the game. I remember when the thing happened with Harden 4 years ago that the Rockets sent in a protest, and that's when the whole thing sparked about, oh, they should just replay the overtime period with a tie score. As the same thing.
Well, that's the thing with the Knicks-Rockets game. You could so easily just play the 5-minute overtime. Literally, that's it. They should just replay that.
Exactly.
Because Aaron Holiday, it's not like Aaron Holiday made the shot that he was fouled on, because then if that's the case, then who cares? He would have made the shot anyways.
He almost did.
Yeah, he didn't. So
that's crazy.
That's the thing. I don't think that, it's a slap in the face, them being like, oh yeah, sorry, we got it wrong. Our fault, our bad. It's like, That's like me.
You still get the loss.
That's like if I go and run over my neighbor's dog, and then I'm like, sorry, ran over your dog. He's dead now, but I said sorry, so it's okay. Like, it doesn't do any good for anyone. There needs to be
Like, at least
some
get him a
sort
new
of
dog,
repercussions from when these refs fuck up in crucial moments and mess up crucial games. Because, Jason Goebel calling that call and then having them admit it should be wrong. There should be repercussions, or there should be some sort of discipline that goes towards Goebel, because he's done that. We've seen, again, like we saw it with the LeBron thing against the Celtics last year. He's been in moments where he either makes a bad call or doesn't make a big call that he needs to make. So I think that it proves that guys like that cannot be trusted in big moments. So why are these guys still getting so many games? And then, Danny, you could talk about the technical fouls too. It's like it never ends.
It's like all over the NBA. There's just so many examples that I'm not just gonna stick to one, but I will throw one out there. I believe it was last season. Jason Tatum got called for a foul and he clapped like that, and then he got called for a tech. I don't understand that. The hanging on the rim.
He got
a lot
mad
of guys are just trying to protect themselves and other players.
Yeah, like KJ Martin the other night went for a dunk on a fast break. He got a lob, dunked it down. He's swinging forward in a motion, going this way. So I just hit my microphone, but he's swinging forward. If he lets go in that moment, that motherfucker is face planting. He's breaking his face.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want him to do? Oh, I might get a technical. Let me fall on my face really quick. Like, come on. It's just
they're doing it to
stupid.
protect other players at times too. If another player's like under them, then they hang on the rim.
You have to hang on the rim.
I'm not trying to sit here and sound like a Jason Tatum stan, but that also happened twice last season. Where he was literally trying to protect the guy under him. He hangs on the rim for 2 seconds. Yeah, he's been given some pretty bad texts, but like he tries to protect the guy under him by hanging on the rim so that he doesn't land on him, and then gets called for the technical foul for hanging on the rim.
And it's not like he's doing pull-ups on it. Like, he literally was just waiting till he stops moving. It's not like he was doing pull-ups or like trying to pull the rim down. Like, it wasn't these aren't vicious attempts or anything. And it's just the refs are so soft. I forget who it was.
You're penalizing these guys for trying to keep themselves healthy.
I forgot though. Like I forget which player it was the other week. One of the players rolled the ball back to the ref. It was a female ref, and she immediately called a technical on him. And it was just like, what? I'm just done with the technical fouls. Like, they're another whole other story. But I'm more concerned on getting actual competent refs in big moments of games getting calls right, because we simply can't have more of these Knicks Rockets things happen. Like, it can't keep happening. Anyways, we just needed to address this because really it's getting ridiculous. The NBA has a referee problem and they need to do something about it. Repercussions need to happen. Anyways, if you guys did like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out our other socials in the links in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Sir, you have a little bit of poop inside your testicles.